Is video from southeast Florida of just how powerful the winds from the outer bands of the storm are. Hallandale Beach in Miami. You can also see the rough waves lapping up there onto the beach. Often people will wait until a hurricane makes landfall to worry about, but folks should really pay attention much earlier. And as we bring in meteorologist Ted Faden here, you've been talking about this, the outer bands. We saw them start to hit the Keys yesterday.
Yeah.
The outer bands aren't anything to really mess with, let alone the hurricane itself.
Yeah, we've been kind of keeping a close eye. We can call this the anatomy of a hurricane because folks might be concerned in terms of, okay, what do the outer bands mean? What kind of impacts can they have? There's a lot of things to keep an eye out for when you're looking at the storm in terms of what impacts we could see. This is a live look in parts of Florida where we haven't seen landfall made quite yet, but we are still going to be seeing the impacts of what could be taking in effect later on this morning.
Well, in some of the terms, we've got a lot of people that have moved to North Carolina and maybe South Carolina over the last couple of years. They're not from here, so they're not used to hearing those terms. You know, you've already said this morning, outer bands, cone of concern, the eye of the storm.
Yeah.
Break down what some of those things mean.
So let's start with the eye of the storm, right? That's kind of what we would say the bullseye, the center. And it kind of makes a well-defined circle. You can see the orange and a little bit of the red that kind of circles around. That's where we're going to see the most intense winds, some of the heaviest downpours, and some of the most significant impacts. And in the center of the eye, you have these calm conditions because you have this sinking air, which almost gives you clear skies and almost nice, calm conditions, which can be kind of eerie for anybody that's been through that.
I do want to ask you, you've been talking a lot, and we talk about this when we have hurricanes, the dirty side of that. And you mentioned as the storm takes a different track, Tampa now on the dirty side of that, and that's what happens there. It's just bringing everything down forward with the winds.
Yeah, so when we say dirty side, the motion of the storm is northeast, and you notice the counterclockwise rotation around it. Well, when you have the enhanced wind going counterclockwise at 140 miles per hour, you have the movement at about 10 miles per hour. So this side of the storm, in essence, is really delivering 150 mile per hour winds to anything that's in front of it because you add on the movement of the storm with those wind speeds, which can be significant, especially if this were to pick up speed.
That was my next question. Are we expecting right now, it's at Cat 3, is there the chance over the waters between where it is now and hitting landfall that it could go up to a 4?
Well, it's a 4 now, and it could potentially stay that way. And zooming out a little bit, because another thing we mentioned was the cone of concern, right? And as you notice, the farther out you go, the wider this cone gets, because that's going to be what we call the degree of uncertainty or the margin of error that can come into play with the forecast. We could see the actual center of the storm go anywhere to the right or anywhere to the left of that forecasted path, which includes Tampa, includes obviously much of Central Florida. But the farther out you go, the more degree of uncertainty we have, which is the cone of concern. And that also plays into the speed of the storm that we're watching too.
All right.
A lot to keep an eye on.
So what is the latest? What do folks need to know now? And of course, you know, how's that going to affect us here in the Carolinas in a couple days from now?
Yeah, the latest that what folks need to know is it's still a Category 4 storm. It's likely going to be making landfall either this morning or this afternoon. It made more of an eastern turn, so I could expect that impact to be a little bit earlier, if not maybe right around noon. Now, even further, while we take a live look over Tampa, they might not be in the bullseye, but they are still going to see a significant impact as we are seeing those winds now at 155 miles per hour, and it's still moving north-northeast at 10 miles per hour. So now we're increasing the winds around this storm. This system is terribly powerful, and you're looking at those intense winds as it's likely to make landfall. This is 2:15 p.m. this afternoon as a Category 4. That significant wind coming around up into Fort Myers and ports of Charlotte and maintaining a Category 1 strength through Central Florida before it goes back out into the Atlantic, giving us that storm surge now on the east side of Florida and up the east coast before it makes a secondary landfall as a tropical storm right around the border of Georgia and South Carolina. That remnant low brings tropical storm force winds to the Carolinas for this weekend and also some heavy downpours. And when we talk about the storm surge associated with this, the red indicating anywhere from 6 to maybe even 12 feet. Naples getting significant storm surge, and that pushes up towards Fort Myers. And I'm more concerned, as I mentioned before, for Port Charlotte, where the waters are going to funnel in, and that storm surge will be significant along the coast. So taking a look at the lifespan of Ian, it goes across central Florida, delivering heavy rain, torrential downpours, some significant wind, and then it goes back out into the Atlantic, setting its sights towards the Carolinas. Then we have high pressure that builds out of the north, which is going to enhance the breeziness, enhance the wind that we're going to see for the next couple of days. And then the rain arrives. This is a look at Friday, 6 a.m., where we first get those raindrops, and then the heavy downpours comes Friday afternoon into the weekend. Significant rain across the southeast through central Florida and the coast of South Carolina, and even into Charlotte, upwards of maybe even 2 inches of rain, while areas west towards Columbia, South Carolina can get upwards of 2 to maybe even 3 inches from that moisture, courtesy of Hurricane Ian. The storm surge along the Carolinas coast, upwards of 2 to 5 feet. We are going to be watching for that, and our wind gusts this weekend can pick up. You're looking at anywhere between 30 to even 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts. This morning, we start off in the 50s. We finish off in the 70s as we get into the afternoon. So cooler temperatures close to home for your Tuesday or your Wednesday. Overnight lows in the 40s and 50s. A wet weekend in store courtesy of Hurricane Ian, and we'll keep those rain chances lasting until early next week.